A student from Brooklyn, New York has pleaded not guilty in a case involving assault where she allegedly assaulted a basketball player from Massachusetts over the issue of cultural appropriation. The story is insane and it enrages me. So Carmen Figueroa is the name of the suspect here, and she will have to return to court and face an investigation over this. But again, she pleaded not guilty. Apparently there was a basketball game, college basketball game, taking place in Massachusetts, and the players from Massachusetts had braids in their hair, and Carmen Figueroa was outraged about it, and so she took action. She confronted members of the Central Maine Community College women's basketball team, demanding that they remove the braids from their hair, allegedly citing, per court documents, cultural appropriation. And then when they refused to do so, she alleged to have, according to the Gazette, attacked one of the students, a second Hampshire student who is yet identified, is alleged to have pulled the hair of another player, causing her to fall. Figueroa then allegedly kicked and stepped on the fallen player. Okay.
What are you doing?
This is so stupid.
So, okay, so to clarify, the home team is from Massachusetts, the visiting team is from Maine. Carmen Figueroa is 20 years old. I mean, she's not 14, you're 20. You should be an adult by then. So, does cultural appropriation happen? Yes. Is it deeply frustrating when people will sometimes be sent home from school, African Americans will, because they've got cornrows or they got braids or they got an afro, and they say, no, clean up your hair. What does that mean, clean up your hair? So if you're mad about that, you're 100% right, okay? Making your hair look more white is not cleaning it up. It's not any more presentable, okay? Now, at the same time, what is the point of attacking people who are emulating you? So if those people who are emulating you then discriminate against you, then I'm going to be on your side, although not on the violence, okay?
Yeah.
But in this case, you have no evidence at all that they were discriminating against. For all you know, likely they did the cultural appropriation because they liked your style. So you don't have to beat them up over it.
Yeah, so I think that it's misdirected anger, and I get where the anger comes from, because you'll have one group of people who do something and they get criticized for it. Then you'll have another group of people do the exact same thing and they're celebrated for it, right? So the afro. If a black woman goes to work sporting an afro, or she applies for a job and goes to an interview sporting an afro, she's likely gonna get punished for it, right? If a woman does something similar, a white woman does something similar, she's so edgy. You know, she's so fashionable, so this, so that. So I get that frustration, but the frustration and the anger needs to be directed at, a cultural issue we have, not the individuals who celebrate the certain style that your culture has brought to the table. By the way, we appropriate everything. Everyone's appropriating everyone up in here. Like, it's just the truth. It is. Like, so Mara Hoffman is a fashion designer that I really like, right? Insanely expensive fashion designer that I can't afford, but I really admire her clothing. And there was this big thing about how her clothes are guilty of cultural appropriation. No, her clothes are beautiful, and if anything, it's celebrating certain cultures, which I'm not even buying, by the way, that it's cultural appropriation. You're not supposed to be angry at people who celebrate culture. You're supposed to be angry at people who create double standards that celebrate culture with some people and then criticize culture with other people. And this is not how you do it. When stories like this make headlines, it makes any argument, about cultural appropriation seem ridiculous, and we don't want that.
You've delegitimized your own issue by doing this. You didn't intend to, but you did. Second of all, assault is assault, so you should be charged. And then third of all, I just don't agree. I think appropriation, again, if not done in a discriminatory way, is fine. So, okay, I'm Turkish. They've appropriated baklava and gyros and kebab. Great. So what? That means they like them. That means it's tasty, okay? So I know a lot of people will say, oh, no, you're being too dismissive. And I understand the history of what's happened in this country. When black people did rock and roll, they were shucking and jiving. But when white people did it, isn't Elvis so cool? I get it, guys, I get it. And we're 100% against that, okay? But if somebody is trying to copy you because they think it's cool, that's not such a bad thing. It really isn't. Don't assault people over it. That's madness.
Yeah.
Corporate media is awesome.
Wrong.
Independent media is the way to go.
Believe me.
Support independent media right now. Become a Young Turks member. TYTnetwork.com/join.